Okay, hello and welcome. This is your grammar teacher, Esteban, and on this video I'll be speaking about the different parts of speech in English and how to identify them in written and spoken language. Please keep in mind that I prepared these materials so as to reinforce some of the contents that we have already seen in class. So please, check your grammar notes, check your grammar references, study and practice also with the content that I've uploaded to ESL library. New content should be available for you, so check it out. And remember, do not use this video as your only grammar reference because more than anything, this video is just a brief summary of the contents that we have reviewed in class together already. Okay, without more ado, let's start with the video. So, we've been talking about grammar very extensively in our course, and the reason I keep on coming back to it is because, as I have already mentioned in class, students need or should have a clear definition of concepts. And this is the basic for fruitful conversation. Grammar, defined as the whole system and structure of language or languages in general, usually consisting of syntax, morphology, and sometimes also phonology and semantics. But for now, we will only focus on syntax. And if you look at syntax, sentence. Syntax is the study of sentence. And syntax is important for us because it refers to what order and lexical categories we should be using when we speak or when we write. So it's important for us because it is related to the content of part of a speech. So syntax being the study of sentence, but more precisely, syntax is the study of sentence structure. And sentence being defined as a group of words containing a verb that expresses a thought in the form of a statement, question, instruction, or exclamation, and starts with a capital letter when written. So I have some examples here from Rick and Morty. All of them are sentences, all of them in this case are statements, and all of them have a verb and they also start with capital letter. Nobody exists on purpose. Nobody belongs anywhere. Everybody's gonna die. That is very, very sad, but it's a quote from the show, by the way. Okay, so now look at this. I want you to pay attention to these examples, these sentences. Rick saw Morty as opposed to Morty saw Rick. They are exactly the same words, but obviously, because we know English, we also know that these two sentences mean a different thing. And that's not because of the words, but because of the syntax of English that we interpret a different meaning. Let me give you another example. Listen to this sentence. The cat chased the mouse. And then I could add more detail and I could say the cat chased the mouse, and then the cat chased the mouse that ate the cheese. The cat ate the mouse that ate the cheese that came from the cow. The cat chased the mouse that ate the cheese that came from the cow that grazed in the field. I could go on forever. And the reason I could go on forever is because I know and I understand syntax of English. I know how to organize sentences. I know how to add detail to the things I say. My point is applied knowledge of syntax is what lets us create increasingly more complex sentences. Syntax uses such concepts as subject and direct object to explain the grammatical relationships and meaning of sentences. So let's have a look at this example. Rick killed Morty and Morty killed Rick. For us to understand, we need to understand syntax. So that's how we know that Rick would be the subject of the sentence and Morty would be the object. So Rick is the one in the first sentence, the one who killed Morty, and the one doing the action. That seems to be obvious for us because this is the same syntax that we use in Spanish. We would say Rick mató a Morty, but it is not obvious when we want to understand all the languages. And I'll give you an example in just a second. But let's again have a look at this sentence. Rick being the subject, Morty being the direct object. Rick is the one doing the action in the first sentence. Rick is the one doing the killing, and Morty being the object of that action, of that killing. The second sentence is just the opposite. You can see we have same words but different syntax, different organization. And because we have different syntax, we also have different meanings. And so I've said this many times, it is important to us to create understanding. Empty knowledge is meaningless. We cannot use it and in real life situations, but understanding grammar is important. Understanding grammar and understanding syntax, because one, when we know and understand syntax and grammar, we can explain concepts and we can have discussions of concepts with other students and teachers. This is going to be very important for us because we want to teach. That's what we want to do after we graduate. We want to be educators. And it is also important if we want to improve our English, if we want to make our English better, and it is also important if we want to learn and understand other languages. Now, see the difference between direct object and indirect object, because these two concepts are very common when we study syntax. The first one says Rick gave him the gun. The verb is gave what? The gun being the direct object. Who got the gun? Me being the indirect object. Then we have the next sentence, Rick gave Morty a gun. The verb being gave what? A gun again being the direct object, and Morty the indirect object. Okay, so we have different sentence patterns here. Subject plus verb. Example, the bell rang. Subject plus verb plus object. She likes eggs. I met my brother, and so on. You can read the rest if you want, but what I wanted to show you that the most important sentence pattern in English defines English as a SVO language. Have a look at this. In English, sentences usually operate using a basic pattern: subject, verb, then object. The subject performs the action in a sentence. It is important that you can classify, that you can categorize a language. English being an SVO language. But now, have a look at this. We have have a look at Japanese, because it is not the same in Japanese. So, as I said before, we have the SVO pattern in English: subject plus verb plus object. Then we have an example being Sakura wants a rabbit. So when it comes to basic sentence structure, Japanese is a SOV language: subject plus object plus verb. Sakura, and then we would say Sakura a rabbit wants, being that Sakura wa uzagi ga hoshii. Sakura wa uzagi ga hoshii. Sakura a rabbit wants. Okay, so when we understand this, when we have the syntax knowledge, we understand all the languages work, the way they function, and we can improve and we can learn those languages more easily. We can create more and more sentences. Now, only if we understand the language, which I think I find that fascinating. But okay, let's jump into the next topic of the video, which is parts of speech and nouns. So nouns being the most important part of speech, they are the bread and butter of speech. Noun basically is a word that names a person, a place, a thing, or idea. Nouns can also play the role of a subject, indirect object, direct object, etc. Nouns can name people, or girl, Taylor Swift, my dad. Nouns can name places, a mountain, Spain, the kitchen. And all nouns can also name things and concepts, activities, processes such as love, football, knowledge. The different types of nouns. 8 different types of nouns. We have common nouns, proper nouns, countable nouns, uncountable nouns, concrete nouns, abstract nouns, compound nouns, collective nouns. I remember having a conversation with one of my students who told me that God should not be a countable noun, should be uncountable, because if we're Christian, maybe we believe in only one God, so therefore we cannot count him. And then I said, okay, but if you believe that, then you only have one God. And when you say one God, that means that you are counting God. In opposition, you cannot say one water. You have to say a glass of water, a glass of milk. But you cannot have one milk, 2 milks, and you cannot... Okay. So, again, common nouns, they name people, places in general. And as a general idea, girl, city, animal, house, fruit, just it's just common nouns. And then we have John, London, Pluto being proper nouns. They name a specific person or places or things. Concrete nouns, they refer to things that exist. You can at least detect them with one of your senses. Dog, tree, moon. Abstract nouns, they have no physical existence. They refer to ideas, emotions, concepts you cannot see or touch, such as love, time, freedom. You have compound nouns and collective nouns, and I'll focus on those two. And compound nouns, they are single words. Compound nouns, they are single words, but constructed with 2 or more words. 2 words usually, actually. So this is important when identifying nouns. when identifying sentence patterns or identifying different parts of a speech, you have to take into account that compound nouns are not two nouns. They function as a single word. They can't be two nouns. Oh, sorry, I got confused. They they're compound nouns. They are just one word. Okay. Compound nouns are formed by combining two words from different parts of the speech together into a single word. For example, a noun plus noun, lunchtime, boyfriend, milkman, etc. Verb plus noun, haircut, runtime, turntable, sweatshirt. Adjective plus noun, smartphone, bluebird. Preposition plus noun, downtown, bystander, underword. Verb plus preposition. And well, now we also have collective nouns, and I think this is interesting. I wanted to talk about this. Collective noun. The collective noun is a noun that refers collectively to multiple people or objects, but as a single entity. And so most of the time, our collective noun is also going to be a singular noun. That is very interesting. So we have words such as army, gang, group, bunch. All of them are examples of collective nouns. So let me give you some examples. Here you have the word fleet being a group of ships. The entire Spanish fleet was defeated within 6 hours. Next example, bouquet. Bouquet, I don't know what happened there with the phonetic alphabet, but okay. Bouquet being a group of flowers that have been fastened together and attractively arranged so that they can be given as a present or carried on formal occasions. Chris sent me a lovely bouquet when I was sick. Jury is another interesting example because jury in English can be countable or uncountable. Okay. So jury being a group of people who have been chosen to listen to all the facts in a trial in a law court and to decide if a person is guilty or not guilty, or if a claim has been proved. Police officers aren't usually allowed to be on a jury. Police officers aren't usually allowed to sit on a jury. You could also say that. Another example I think is interesting is this one because of its pronunciation, which, by the way, the word is pronunciation, not pronunciation. Some students say pronunciation because they have the word noun and they believe that it is the same. When you say pronunciation, it is not. The word is pronunciation. Okay, so which one would be the pronunciation for the phonetic alphabet? There is something happened. Okay, but the pronunciation of this word should be choir. A group of people who sing together. He sings in the church choir. Okay, now let's talk about pronouns. And the first thing I can say about pronouns is that it is very important that they substitute specific nouns when the reader or listener knows which specific noun you are referring to. Which means that you cannot start a sentence, you cannot start a conversation with a pronoun because the other person, they're not going to understand what you're talking about. You might say, Jennifer was supposed to be here at 8. Then you can follow it with, she's always late. Next time, I'll tell her to be here a half hour earlier. Instead of saying Jennifer's name 3 times in a row, you substitute she and her, and your sentence remained grammatically correct. Okay, now look, there are many pronoun types, and I took this table from ESL library, so you can also have a look at it. There are 9 different types of pronouns, and between the okay, and we have a type of pronoun called possessive adjective. And this is what caused confusion to some of the students of my section. They couldn't tell apart from possessive pronouns. And so what you have to pay attention is very simple. An adjective, in this case, the possessive adjective, this type of pronoun, is always going to be accompanied by a noun. In this case, his car, right? And in the case of number 4, which is a possessive pronoun, the example that you've got there is that book is mine. So you replace the noun book. So you don't say that book is my book. Instead of saying my book, because you already mentioned it before, you say that book is mine. So that's how you know it's a possessive pronoun. Look at these examples. I don't want these earrings. Can I have those? So those, is that an adjective or a pronoun? Okay, I think you know the answer. Those, in this case, is a pronoun. Next one. She has already seen that movie. That, is it an adjective or a pronoun? That would be an adjective, right? She has already seen that movie. That would be an adjective because we have the word movie there for the first time. We are not replacing it. She has already seen that movie, that being an adjective. The next one, he likes using this software. This. Is it an adjective or a pronoun? An adjective. He likes using this software would be an adjective because we're not replacing the noun software. The next one. These are the books we ordered. Is that an adjective or a pronoun? A pronoun. We could have said these books are the books we ordered, but we replaced the noun books the first time and we just say these. So that's why we have a pronoun there. Next one. I'm lucky to have friends like these. I'm lucky to have friends like these, and I think you know the answer already. In this case, these is a pronoun. She has already seen that movie. She has already seen that movie. That, is it an adjective or a pronoun? Adjective, right? She has already seen that movie because in that clause, that isn't replacing the noun movie. And then we have this child seems to be lost. This child seems to be lost. This being an adjective. So now, adjectives are the words that describe nouns. You might say the movie was funny, engaging, well-written, or suspenseful. When you're describing the movie with these words, you're using adjectives. An adjective can go right before the noun it's describing. For example, I have a black dog. But it doesn't have to. Sometimes adjectives are at the end of a sentence. For example, my dog is black. verbs now. Go, be amazing, run as fast as you can, win the race, congratulate every participant who put in the work and competed. Congratulate every participant who put in the work and competed. These words are all verbs. The verbs are words that describe specific actions like running, winning, and being amazing. And not all verbs refer to literal actions though. Verbs that refer to feelings or states of being, like to love and to be, are known as non-action verbs, right? So remember that verbs also refer to feelings or states of being. Conversely, the verbs that do refer to literal actions are known as action verbs. Okay, now adverbs. An adverb is a word that describes an adjective, a verb, or another adverb. Take a look at these examples. I entered the room quietly. Quietly is describing how you entered the room. Quietly is describing the verb. And here's another example. A cheetah is always faster than a lion. Always is describing how frequently a cheetah is faster. So an adverb can also describe an adjective. Prepositions. They tell you a relationship between other words in a sentence. They give you a sense of logical space, location. For example, I left my bike leaning against the garage. In this sentence, against is the preposition because it tells us where I left my bike. Here's another example. She put the pizza in the oven. Without the preposition in, we don't know where the pizza is. Now, conjunctions. Conjunctions make it possible to build complex sentences that express multiple ideas. Have a look at this. I like marinara sauce. I like Alfredo sauce. I don't like puttanesca sauce. So each of these three sentences express a clear idea. There's nothing wrong with listing your preferences like that, but it's not the most efficient way to do it. So you could say instead, I liked marinara sauce, it's Alfredo sauce, but I don't like puttanesca sauce. So in this sentence, and but are the two conjunctions that link your ideas together. And last but not least, articles. A pair, that brick house, an exciting experience. These bordered words are known as articles. Like nouns, articles come in two flavors, definite articles and indefinite articles. The type of article you use depends on how specific you need to be about the thing you are discussing. A definite article describes a specific noun, like the and this. Example, did you buy the car? So you're being specific. Maybe you know the car that you wanted to buy. Maybe you've talked about it, and now someone asked, did you buy the car? Now, if you swap in an indefinite article, you would have the sentence, did you buy a car? So the implication is gone and you're asking a much more general question. And articles also show how many there are, something being general or being specific. So let's have a look at these examples now. I want you to, of course, think about the answer. First one being, I wore a lovely dress to the party. A, B, C, lovely being an adjective because the dress is lovely. It's not about the way you wear your dress, it's about the dress itself. So lovely being an adjective. Who was he talking about yesterday? He is a conjunction, preposition, or a pronoun. It is a pronoun, of course. She left a contact card underneath the napkin. So we have a relationship of location, right? So we know that underneath is a preposition. Next example. If we walk quickly, we will get there just after 9 a.m. So quickly is an adverb because it is describing the way we walk. We walk, but how do we do so? We walk quickly. I'm certain that I've met your parents before. Met would be a verb, right? Next one. She placed a tissue in her pocket in case she cried. A tissue. A being an article. I rang the mobile and home phone, but nobody answered. So you put these two clauses together and you make sentence of it. A relationship exists, but is a conjunction. And finally, I think you should tell her the news after you see her. After being the preposition. That's all I have to say for now. I wish you guys a very good weekend. Best of lucks, and I'll see you on Tuesday, right? Yeah, I'll see you on Tuesday. By the way, remember that I've uploaded new materials to le.com, your ESL library website. So have a look at that and leave a comment if you want. Subscribe. And that's all I have to say. Bye.